He was employed by Wayne County Commission as the Legislative Research Assistant. He was later appointed to the Commission Liaison and then to the position of Chief Assistant to the Deputy County Executive by Wayne County Executive Warren C. Evans. Darcel attributes his success to influential mentors and role models, men and women who shared their knowledge and pointed him towards a brighter tomorrow. Today, his mission is to provide young people the motivation and tools they need to achieve their goals. Live productive lives, live productive lives, and also be catalysts to the flourishing, prospering communities. He faithfully lives by his motto, don't wait for change, be the change. So I introduce you, some and others who know him here, Mr. Darcel Brown.
All right, Darcel Brown.
Thanks, Commissioner Scott. Before I start this invocation, as we celebrate Black History Month, I thought it would be befitting to pay homage to the African American women elected officials in this room. I was on the phone the other night with Commissioner Martha G. Scott, and I said, Commissioner, I don't think people realize the history that we have here among us. And one of those being, again, Commissioner Scott, the first African-American woman elected as a mayor of a Michigan city. And then, of course, we have Chairwoman Alicia Bell, who was the youngest African-American woman to be elected to serve as a county commissioner in the nation. And we can't forget about Commissioner Clark Coleman, who was a former senator. She was one of the first African Americans to represent specific cities within her district while she was senator within Wayne County. So I just want to say thank you, not just to them, but to all the individuals that have overcome obstacles and broken through barriers to help set a path that others can follow. So let's just give it up for them really quick. All right, if we all can stand for the invocation. John 14:27 reads, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for your peace in the midst of uncertain times. We thank you that we do not have to fear because you are with us. We pray for all of our leaders, including those in this room. I pray that you will give them an abundance of wisdom, guide and lead them during today's deliberations. Help each commissioner to lead with a spirit of boldness and make decrees from a place of peace. I ask that as they tend to the business of Wayne County, that you will bless and protect them and their families. Thank you for hearing our prayer. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Scott, for asking Mr. Darcel Brown to do the invocation. And thank you, Darcel, for that wonderful prayer for today and for the acknowledgement of the African-American ladies of the Wayne County Commission. Thank you so much. Next item, please.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Palomero.
Move approval.
Their support? Moved and supported. Are there any corrections to the journal? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
Report from the chair.
Nothing today.
Unfinished business, there is none listed. We are moving to page 2 of the agenda, offering about petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There is one item listed, a Black History Month presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. This morning in February, as we have for several decades, we are celebrating Black History Month here at the Wayne County Commission. For the last few years, we were honored to have Commissioner Clark Coleman lead us in that practice. Today, Commissioner Jonathan Kinlock will be our lead in a dynamic program celebrating African American history. in light of things that are going on in the country with DEI and other rollbacks, this commission will continue to celebrate the contributions of all Americans, including African Americans, during the month of February. So thank you, Commissioner Kinlock, and I will turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. February is the month dedicated to celebrating Black history. Today, we honor the traditions directly tied to the legacy of African Americans through our connection to the motherland, Africa. At this time, I will now recognize, for the purpose of singing the Black National Anthem, I will now recognize Mr. Perry Columbus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for having me here. It's a proud moment for me. I look forward to singing this for you guys. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of the day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with the steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. Ye have come over a way that with tears has been watered. Ye have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. Thank you.
Thank you, Perry Combs. Now, when recognized and called upon for the purpose of libation ceremony. Brother Shamari.
Good morning. We come, and when I say we, I mean everybody in this room, even though we're celebrating Black History Month, we're all a human family. We come from one place, whether we accept it or not. So as I pour this libation, I want us to think about antiquity and where things begin. We first pour libation and we give homage to Almighty God, known by many names. In the East, there are over 99 names for God. In the African languages on the continent, there are at least 5 to 6 names for each country for God. So we pour libation in the memory of the Creator known by many names, Elohim, Yahweh, God, whatever we call him, and we say, Insah. Just to let you know, we're doing this in African language from the Akan tradition. In the Akan tradition, God was known as Anyame. So when you said Insah, you were praying or giving homage to Anyame or God for our creation and for our spirituality. For those of you who do not know, this is supposed to be on Do Not Disturb. For those of you who do not know, we come from a tradition where if you look back in your old Life or Time magazine, they found some bones in the old Dubai Gorge of Central East Africa. The bones that they found, they named them Lucy because that's what the paleontologists and archaeologists named them, listening to a song on the radio by the Beatles. That's why they named her Lucy. But over there, the tradition, the oral tradition that African people keep, they call it Denknish. And she is known as the mother of all. Please do your research when you leave here if you don't believe what I'm saying. She's known to be connected to each and every human being on the planet. So we pour libation to the mother of all, known as Denknish, and we say, Insah. To the unknown name of the father of all, just like Father's Day. We pour libation to the unknown name of the father of all, and we say, Insah. We think about all the heroes and sheroes of the past since we're celebrating Black history that have brought us to this time where we have to have this special time to celebrate our history and our heritage as African people. And when I say African people, I'm talking to everyone in the room, historically. So we pour libation to the memory of those freedom fighters, many names that you can say, Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rosa Parks in her rebellion. We pour libation in the memory of, and I always say our women first because everybody came to here through them. So we pour libation in their memory and we say Ashe. We pour libation to the freedom fighting men of the past, some of whom, because of what was going on at the time, died in their struggle. So to Denmark Vesey, to Martin Luther King, to El Hajj Malik Shabazz, and all those names that we could call and be here forever talking about, we pour a libation in their memory and we say Insah. Finally, everyone in this room stands on the shoulders of someone who is an ancestor, maybe living or dead. An ancestor is just those who came before us. They don't have to be someone that's passed. My memory, and I'll say this to everyone, I want you to think of just one, you can think of many, but one name of your ancestors and call out their name. I will begin and call out the name of my great-grandmother who taught me how to cook. Her name was Nancy Suddeth. And we say inside of Nancy, I need some names. Keep calling them. Keep calling the names. When it gets quiet, then we'll pour libation in their memory. Everybody has somebody. I take it we're ready to move on because there's nobody else calling names. But if you think about it, and the reason I pour libation in this way, if you think about it, we could be here for years, really calling out the names of those who are our ancestors, who we want to pay homage to. So in the memory of all the names that were called, we say Nsa. And finally, in African cosmology and many of the ethnic groups, they believe that if you live a life that was without blemish and approving to Olodumare, Yahweh, God, then you will shine like a star in the universe. But if you don't, you might end up back here trying to do it right. So we pour libation to our children who are yet unborn, those who will carry our legacy long after we have left here, those who will carry our blood in their veins, our memory, when we have long gone. We pour libation, finally, for those who are yet unborn, and we say, Nsa, Nsa, Nsa. As you leave here and you think about our history and our culture, think about this. None of us can live on this planet without the rest of us. There's nobody in here that's a fireman, that's a doctor, that's a farmer, that's a protector like police. There's nobody here that does all of those things. We need each other as a human family. So when you leave here, think about those things, that we're all one people. Have a real wonderful day, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this prestigious event.
One of the long-standing traditions in the African culture is the tradition of drums and dancing. And at this time, I would like our presenters, our dancers, and our drummers to come forward.
Ashe, ashe, anga alafia, ashe, ashe. Anga alafia, ashe, ashe. Anga alafia, ashe, ashe.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all. Oh my gosh.
So we may have missed our opportunity. We're looking for volunteers to learn to dance. That we may be out of time.
Okay,
One dance.
okay. So we'll do that next time.
Next time, okay.
We'll do that next time. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, we now come to the conclusion of our presentation and celebration. And I would like to thank Chair Bell for extending the opportunity to present this celebration to you all, bring the celebration to you all today. And I would like to also extend a sincere appreciation and gratitude to my staff who pulled this together for me, Jacinta Jenkins, Brian Martin, and Stephen Rimmer. So thank them as well. So I now turn it back over to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you to all of the performers, the drummers, dancer, our singer. Thank you all so much for the libation. It's always important that we have this African American celebration every month, just so that we can remember. We should never forget the contributions of African Americans to this country. And I thank you, Commissioner, for having a wonderful program for today. And as you know, there's something special after this meeting for all of us in the chambers. So thank you again. And we will conclude the program and continue with our agenda, which I don't have. Madam Clerk?
We're on reports from committees. Report A is from the Committee on Public Services. There are 7 items listed on pages 2 and 3 of the agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move items 1 through 7 for approval.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on the items on the Public Services Report? And for those of you, I'm sorry, who are in the audience, who are on Zoom, we operate in committee and the discussions are held at committee and the items are thoroughly discussed at that time, then they come here for final disposition. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just I have a question about number 3 on that, the COPS committee. The service that's going to be provided is the county. It doesn't indicate here if there was full indemnification to the county for any lawsuits that might arise from this. I just wonder if there's someone from the administration that would address that.
And which number, sir?
Number 3.
Number 3. 31 from the administration can address number 3.
Hi, my name is Scott Maher. I work for Wayne County Parks. The vendor does carry insurance covering Wayne County Park. Wayne County is additionally insured.
Has it been examined whether or not it's sufficient?
Yes, it has. It's been examined by Risk Management and Corporation Counsel.
Thank you.
You're all set, Commissioner? Is that okay? Okay. Are there any other questions for the items on the Public Services Report? Any additional questions? Comments? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item, please.
We're on report B from the Committee on Ways and Means. There are 26 items listed on pages 4 through 9 of the agenda.
Commissioner Kinlock?
Madam Chair, I move approval of the 26 items that is part of the entire Committee on Ways and Means report.
Been moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Garza. Any questions or discussion on the Committee on Ways and Means report? Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to make a comment or have someone address number 24.
Okay, Sorry, push the button up. There, you're fine now. You're on.
Good morning, Sharon Rose, Finance Director for Juvenile Youth Services.
I made this comment or asked this question in full board and I think, or in Ways and Means, and I think it might be beneficial for all the commissioners. Our fiscal group asked the department some questions back and forth. And this is if any of the commissioners have gone back on all the background we have on each of these items. The department was asked what contracts contributed to the current overrun of $4.8 million. And the department response was the 5 CMOs. I asked that question to clarify that. And could you provide the answer on why that overrun of 4.8 million doesn't have anything to do with the 5 CMOs, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think she misspoke when she said the CMOs. The 4.8 was really New Image. That was the one that had the overage last fiscal year.
For the
For the
bets.
staffing, for JDF.
Oh.
It was New Image. New Image, in the budget, they were budgeted for 2 million, but in last fiscal year, we spent 4.8 million.
Okay, we got a different answer in Ways and Means that it was Spectrum and the bed costs of Spectrum.
Well, Spectrum is a part of it as well, though, because Spectrum increased their rates.
Okay, so that's part of it and the JDF.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't the CMOs that
No,
was
it was
$4.8
Spectrum
million.
and New Image.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional questions on the Ways and Means report? Hearing none. I'm sorry, Commissioner
One more.
Markey.
I'd like to be a no on 23.
Duly noted.
And that's the shelter and grant program.
Yeah,
Okay,
yep.
okay,
Yeah, that question was 24. I want to
okay.
be a no on 23.
Any additional, Commissioner Clemente, or, no? Oh, you were, okay, all right. Please vote.
Yes. Motion carries. And I have Commissioner Marecki as a no on item number 23.
All right, thank you. Next item.
We're on report C from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There are 2 items listed on pages 9 and 10 of the agenda.
Commissioner Martha G. Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of items 1 and 2.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Marecki. Discussion, Commissioner Knizik.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to abstain on 1.
Duly noted.
Additional questions, comments on the Health and Human Services report? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries. I have Commissioner Knizik as an abstention on item number 1.
Thank you. Next item.
We're on report D from the Committee on Audit. There is 1 item listed.
Commissioner Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the report for receiving file.
Moved by Commissioner Dobb, supported by Commissioner Killeen. Any discussion on the audit report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Next item.
We're on report E from the Committee on Government Operations. There are 11 items listed on pages 10 through 13 of the agenda.
Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move items 1 through 11 for approval.
Been moved by Commissioner Clemente, supported by Commissioner Garza. 1 through 11 on the Government Operations Report. Any discussion on any of the items on the Government Operations Report? If I could ask someone to briefly speak to item number 6. It's the ASME contract.
Is this working? Yes.
Yes.
Good morning, Commission. My name is Gwendolyn DeYoung, and I'm the Labor Relations Director.
For the contract, just a brief overview of the MOU.
Yes, the
MOA.
the MOA is one of three. The commission approved the other three last board meeting. So this is AFSCME, the supervisors, and the parties have spoken about this, the union, AFSCME leadership, and the Labor Relations Division. And we're proposing to add Veterans Day to the holiday schedule that's currently in the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, as well as adding a floating holiday and then removing reference to Good Friday, so that the floating holiday can be used for any holiday that the employees select at their discretion with the approval from their supervisors. This is consistent with the other contracts as well.
Very good. Any discussion on any of the other items on government operations? Commissioner Kinlock?
We have a question as it relates to item number 4. Who's here to speak to that?
Hi, through the chair, Mike Jameson, Connect 43 Project Director via Zoom.
Okay, I'm hoping that there was some, I guess, follow-up conversation as it relates to discussions that came out of Ways and Means associated with this project. Let me ask you, are there time cards, time sheets that's associated with the employees who are charging to these accounts?
So for the staff augmentation contract, we use a internal system called Replicom. It's a time tracking software that those consultants log into and put in their daily hours and the work that they would perform. And then their supervisor reviews, signs off on, and then that's reviewed within M&B before being signed off on by the CFO. And we employ Don Yachty, who's one of the subcontractors through Oracle, to assist in that review. So those are reviewed through Replicon.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for, as we did in Ways and Means, for a meeting to be had between the chair of Government Ops and our chair associated with this item, and some additional discussion. But thank you for that information.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Marecki, did you have your hand as well? You're fine. Any additional questions on the government operations report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
We're moving to report F, which is on your addenda. There's one item listed from the Committee on Ways and Means.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, Madam Chair. At this time, the Committee of Ways and Means met at a special committee meeting this morning. As has been stated read into the record, the Committee of Ways and Means did forward this item here without a recommendation. And for the purpose of clarity and additional information to be shared to the full commission, we'd like at this time, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask for someone from Management and Budget to speak to this item. So this item was forwarded without a recommendation.
Okay, so someone from Management and Budget to speak to this item, please. The item is certifying revenue in the amount of $8 million in the general fund. And then reallocating. Hello.
Greg McIntyre, Deputy Budget Director, Management and Budget.
Thank you. The concerns that came out of the discussion this morning were information based on our fiscal staff review of this item and the continuous conversations we had last fiscal year associated making sure that we reconciled our books within the current fiscal year where it occurred. At this time, Madam Chair, with your permission, I'd like to recognize our Auditor General to advise the commission on what the advice of note that she indicated to the committee.
Through
Auditor
the chair,
General?
through the chair, Marcy Cora, Auditor General.
Be close to the mic, please. Thank you.
With this budget adjustment coming 4.5 months after the close of the fiscal year, last year, this was a repeat audit in the external audit's findings. It will again be a repeat audit. And it also makes it hard because we need to submit our financial statements to the state of Michigan by March 31st. And if we're still moving money around with only a month and a half to go, it's going to make it very hard for the external audit to be completed on time, in addition to being in violation of the Public Act.
So, Madam Chair, it was the intent of the commission. We understand our role in this matter and understanding that we have to reconcile our books. But we spoke last year as it relates to making sure that they got this information and all this information in within a fiscal year. More so, we wanted the committee, the full commission to hear this issue and govern ourselves accordingly. Madam Chair, I would like to ask if there's any additional questions that you facilitate those questions among commissioners.
If you could give us a synopsis on the delay with the certifying the revenue that's coming before us today.
Yeah, sure. Certainly the cyber attack has something to do with that. But before we can present this budget adjustment to the commission, we have to make sure that we're coming to you guys with confidence in the numbers. And so we got off to a slow start. The cyber attack did have something to do with that, but we are making an effort to meet all deadlines. And unfortunately for this cycle, we did not meet the deadline this year for this budget adjustment.
As far as the external audit is concerned, are we in jeopardy of being late for that?
I believe the audit has already started. And so I believe we're on schedule to have that done by the deadline.
Any questions from commissioners on this item? Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So what happens if we miss the deadline for the audit? I don't know if it's RCU. What's the consequence of that?
I'm not certain. That would perhaps be a question for financial reporting. I can get back to you on that, though.
Thank you.
Auditor General, can you answer that by any chance?
The deadline is March 31st. If you're not going to make the March 31st deadline, they're going to have to file for an extension that hasn't been determined as of yet. You know, there could be consequences as far as even withholding of state aid, but that would be determined by the state.
Thank you.
Kniezek?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll start by saying I would love to have the conversation offline or in my office, but when it comes in late and it's 30 minutes prior to full board, this is what we got, right? So nothing personal, just business. You mentioned the attack that we had and that impacted things getting off the ground. It was already an audit finding last year, though, when there wasn't any sort of a cyber attack. So could you talk a little bit about what the findings were then and what remedial steps we're taking now to address the fact that it was already an audit finding absent any sort of cyber attack this year?
Again, before we can even start this exercise, the books have to be in great enough shapes. So when I bring numbers before you, I have to have confidence that we're bringing you good numbers. So I can't start the process until we are confident that the book's in pretty good shape. So when I bring you good number, it's a good number, and we don't want to run the risk of moving over too much excess fund balance and risk of going into deficit. We do not want to do that. That would be detrimental. So we have to have some reasonable assurance that what we're doing is not going to harm us in any way.
Yes, the question.
Go ahead.
The question was, what was identified in the audit prior to this year, and what steps are we doing to remediate it?
Commissioner, I'm not that involved in the audit side. That's financial reporting, but I'm not really sure how to answer that question.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, let me just say that we'll take a deeper dive into that, getting that question answered for you, Commissioner Kniezek, because that is important to know what steps have been taken to make sure that this doesn't occur next year. This year, okay, we had the cyber attack, but it was also a finding last year as well. So making sure that this doesn't become a routine habit is something that we'll make sure that we have some conversations in committee about. Commissioner Kinlock?
Yes, the committee also requested that there be a review as it relates to the circumstances and that a report based upon conversation that came out this morning that the Auditor General as well as our council take a review of the, some of the comments that came out of the committee and to send that to yourself and to the committee as well. So thank you. That concludes my report.
Another speaker, Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is, seems like deja vu, we're doing the same thing that we did last year, having to approve this. But I guess I want to ask, is the department fully staffed? The department that would provide everything that's needed in order to get this done in time and not let it go 4 months?
No, we're not fully staffed, no.
Okay, where do we have a shortfall there on staffing? Aren't we also getting outside assistance?
Yes, we are.
Oh, Madam Chair, I'm yes, I'll use my vote as sending a message that we should not be doing this on an every year basis and violating the Public Act. So I'm going to be a no vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional discussion or questions on this item? We do not have a motion. Is there a motion?
Oh,
for the-
yeah.
You move what?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the item.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Colleen to move this item for approval. Is that correct, Commissioner, for approval?
That is correct.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote. And again, this is certifying money for our general fund account of $8 million, and then reallocating those funds through various departments. We always have to make sure that we certify dollars. So let's make sure that, oh, wait a minute, did it pass? Commissioner Scott?
I'll vote yes.
Okay.
Somehow this.
That's fine.
Okay.
We got you.
Motion carries.
Okay, the motion did carry. So I appreciate the no votes because we have to make sure that we do send the message. So I do appreciate that. But we have to make sure that, one, we get the staffing up for that department so that they can do their job and do it in a timely manner. And then make sure that we don't have any dings come against us if we aren't getting our reporting in a timely manner to the state. So thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chair Kinlock, for having the meeting this morning to get this to us today. Next item.
We are on page 13 of the agenda, upcoming meetings.
Please look at the schedule for the upcoming meetings for next week. If there are any changes, please let our clerk know. Next item.
We are moving to new business and media considerations. There are no items listed. Item B, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 6 items listed on the agenda and 2 on the addenda.
Okay, we have 6 items on the agenda, 2 on the addenda. If anyone would like to speak to any of the items on the certificate of appreciation? Their motion, moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Scott, and supported by Commissioner Colleen and Speaker Commissioner Scott. Go ahead, Commissioner. Like to speak to one of the persons on the certificates of appreciation, Commissioner Scott?
Yes, Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church. 100th anniversary. As a little girl, we didn't have a piano in our home, and I would go over to Pleasant Grove to get my piano lessons. So I want to honor them today for staying in the community and really doing a great job in the community.
Absolutely. 100 years, a long time. They do great work. Thank you. Any additional, Commissioner Marecki?
Is this where we're supposed to talk about Tim?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I wasn't quite sure what was going on.
Everybody's like, what about it? We'll save that for at the end of the program.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, it's been moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Khalid. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Commissioner Scott?
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next item, please.
We are on memoriams. There are 9 names listed on the agenda and 2 on the addenda.
Okay, on our agenda, I'd just like to say that we would like to give our sincere condolences to Pamela Lane's father-in-law, Mr. Wayman Fordham, who passed away. That's her husband's father, Daryl Fordham. Many of us know him from retired from the Sheriff's Department. So Pam, we want to give our deepest condolences to Daryl and your family in the passing of Mr. Fordham. Is there anyone else to speak to anyone in memoriams? Commissioner, lots.
Just wanted to.
Commissioner Anderson, then Clemente, then Scott, then Irma Carcon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to ask to add the name of Michael Harris. Mike was the past president of the Paralyzed Veterans of Michigan, and was a good friend of mine. And his service will be tomorrow in Westland. And he did a lot for the folks with disabilities in the state, including when someone pulls up to a gas pump, the button asks for assistance. He was instrumental in getting that law passed and getting the organizations, the gas station owners, to do that for those that are disabled. But anyway, he'll certainly be missed for all the things he's done. And he died out at University of Michigan Hospital. And keep him and his family in your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Clemente?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to add to the list, Karen Risco. She was a Lincoln Park resident, a lover of history, and she shared her knowledge with a lot of individuals throughout Lincoln Park and the Downriver area, and including Detroit. She actually was an owner of a business here in the Guardian Building before she had to sell her business because of health reasons. So it's a great loss for our community, and we'll keep her family in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Scott?
Your
microphone. You're on. Oh, you're on. Yep.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To Mr. Fordham, to Pam and his wife, Mrs. Fordham. We have a club called the South Carolina Club, and that's where I'm from, and we have a lot of great activities together. And just last summer, we were at the Fordham's house where we had a great backyard affair. And so, as I said to her last night, I'm certainly going to miss him because he was just a wonderful person. We all had great times together.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Commissioner Clark-Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to speak on Stanley Knox, who was a Detroit police officer for 28 years. And he was a top cop appointed by Coleman Alexander Young from 91 to 94. He was primarily at the 10th precinct, which is in my district. And Coleman Young appointed him to clean up the image of the Detroit Police Department. And he was so effective in that until they named the street after him, which is right over by, right near the 10th precinct. That's on a professional level. On a personal level, I've known Stanley for a number of years. He does reside in my district. He was also, when he left the police department, after 28 years, he became a personal trainer. And he was my personal trainer for a number of years. That's why I have this great body.
Well, he did a good job.
But no, he was just a wonderful, wonderful person. And he was 85 years old when he passed away. And we're going to miss him. I got to tell you a story about when I first knew about our prosecutor. Prosecutor Kim Worthy was the young prosecutor who prosecuted the Butts and Neville case. And Stanley was the top cop at that time, was very effective. And for those who don't know about Butzel Nevers, I'm sure that Tony knows a lot about it. But that's when Kim Worthy came into her prominence. She was a young prosecutor who was at the top of her game. Wonderful. And so that was during the Malice Green and Butzel Nevers. But Stanley was very influential, very in the prosecution, providing information to the prosecutor. And that's when she became famous, when she won that tough case. Okay.
Thank you. He'll be missed.
So I just wanted to say that that Stanley Knox certainly is to be commended for a great life of service. Right, community and the Detroit Police Department.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those words about Mr. Knox. And I saw Commissioner Scott's hand again.
Yes, I just wanted to complete that part but the four that I have on memoriams, LaDonna Catress Boswell was just a wonderful young lady that I enjoyed having great conversations with her. Her mother was my beautician for as long as she was old, I guess, about 40 years. So we had a lot of times, I watched her grow up, and she was killed in an accident on I-75. And Miss Buford is just a great songbird. Will be missed at my old church, Russell Street Missionary Baptist Church, where she was last week. And A.C. Kane was one of my longtime Highland Park community activists in the community who did such a fantastic job with his block club. And most of you probably remember Miss Selma Good, who was just a fantastic woman who helped so many needy families and people. She was just an outgoing, just a great woman. And so she will certainly be missed. And so I thank God for all that she did while she was here. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak again.
Thank you. Thank you. And lastly, I'll say Mr. Joe Blanding, Detroit Public School Board member, also passed recently. So we want to make sure that we keep his family in our prayers as well. I don't know if you served with him.
I served
with
with
him.
him
And I
the
think
entire time.
the entire time. Okay, yep. So he passed recently. We want to make sure we keep his family in our prayers as well. Everyone could please stand for a
One last
moment
thing,
of silence.
One
Uh-huh.
last thing.
Hmm?
I did have a memoriam. Tim did a memoriam.
Mhm.
I had one produced with the names of all, for Stanley Knox,
Mhm.
with the name of all commissioners.
Oh, thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you. Word of silence, please. Thank you so much. And again, we want to keep all the family members of those recently passed away in our prayers, especially to Pam and Daryl Fordham. Next item, please.
Public comments.
Public comments, you have 2 minutes to address the Wayne County Commission. Is there anyone on Zoom? Anyone on Zoom for public comments? No hands up. Anyone in the chambers for public comments? Anyone in the chambers for public comments? Any emails?
Just one. Darlene Buffington wishes you a happy birthday.
Thank you, President Buffington. Oh, a hand was just raised for Zoom. Okay, 2 minutes, please. Go ahead if you're on Zoom, if you can hear me. Unmute yourself. All right, hands down. Okay, thank you so much. Next item.
Reconsiderations.
There are none.
Remarks by members.
Remarks by members. Okay, here we go. So, under certificates of appreciation, there was a name listed at the top, someone that we all know and care for, and he is finally saying goodbye to Wayne County after 32 years. Our beloved Mr. Tim Johnson. Let's give him a round of applause. So he said, don't give him a resolution because he got one when he retired that said happy retirement, because he did retire and then he came back as a contract employee. So I didn't give him one that said retired. I gave him one that said decades of dedicated service to Wayne County. So Tim, if you come on up. So his last day will be next Friday, but this is the last time we'll all be together. So I wanted to make sure that we presented this to you at this your last full board meeting with all of the commissioners' names on it. I'll read a little bit of it because 32 years, 32 years, how many years is it? Close to 35. So I will, because he was. Consecutive. Because what, the McNamara administration? The Facana, he was on? Not the Facana administration. But anyways, long time from way back. So whereas it is with great pride that we, the members of the Wayne County Commission, give due recognition to Tim Johnson following his more than 3 decades of service to Wayne County. Whereas Tim Johnson was raised in St. Clair Shores and attended St. Joan of Arc Elementary and Austin High School before furthering his education at Michigan State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in journalism and master's degree in advertising. Whereas Tim Johnson's commitment to public service in Wayne County began in the 1990s, and he went through McNamara, as we said, then the Wayne County Commission. We are so proud that he has dedicated much of his life to Wayne County. That's much more than many people can say, almost 35 years. Half of your life. Hope it was a good life with Wayne County. Okay? So for all of us, this is a token of our appreciation. Let's give it up for Tim Johnson. Stand. 35 years working with the county was a long time. Words.
I'll be short on words. I just want to thank Chair Bell for this tribute and also for the opportunity to serve the commission these past several years. Just want to leave you with a famous greeting that Jewel Ware always used to use. Peace and blessing, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Hold on, Tim. And And we have a token of appreciation from the commissioners as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Don't spend
Commissioner.
it all in one place. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tim. And we'll take a picture with him and his resolution after this meeting. And there will be a cake on next week as he actually departs on next week. So please come down next week if you can to celebrate him with all the staff. Any additional remarks by members?
Yes.
Who's that? Yes, Commissioner Kinlock.
Okay, one, as relates to, Tim, I want to just thank him for, his support since I've been on this commission. He has been very, supportive in, not just with commission business, but just giving, his, advice on a number of, issues, in our community and also connecting me with people, who were concerned in my district. And on another note, I can't believe I forgot to thank Sherry Johnson in my office for helping with putting it, yes. So, yeah, so I've gotten like whipped on this, and so absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments by commissioners? I'll start here, Commissioner Dahl.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tim, I think you were the first person I spoke to from the county and the commission when I first won my first election. You called me, congratulated me on my win. And I just want to thank you for all that you've done for me and my office and everyone on the commission. So congrats and enjoy your retirement.
Mr. Marecki?
Yeah, Tim, enjoy your retirement. I mean, you know, you're still walking around healthy. So really enjoy it. And I'm glad I'm one of your Facebook friends so I can see what's going on. So hopefully we see you, come back for special events or whatever. But thank you for everything you've done for all of us and for my office. And it's been a real pleasure working with you and on the Tri-County Summits. So thank you for everything.
Commissioner Kniezek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tim, I also wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done for me and my office and my district. So much of that work is done behind the scenes. It can be thankless in many ways, but I want you to know how much we all appreciate it, how much I appreciate everything you've done, particularly around the work these last few years on those community partnership initiatives, real tangible things for young people in our community that you helped shepherd through, and it made a big impact in Dearborn Heights, Garden City, and Inkster. I wanted to thank you for that and wish you the best on your next chapter.
Vice Chair Polley. I'm sorry, no, Commissioner Clark-Holman first.
Yeah, I've probably known Tim longer than any other commissioner, maybe even staff people. Because I met Tim when I was working for Ed McNamara. And Tim was the PR person for the Director of Economic Development, Dewey Henry. So, and when you said 32, my mind is racing and I'm going, he's been here longer than 32 years because he was with McNamara. Was it, what year was it, Tim? When did you start with Dewey? When? 1990. Yeah. And I started in 88, I believe. So I must be before you. Right. And so then after I left and came back and then working with Tim again. So I started adding these figures in my head and I'm going, no, I'm not going to check Alicia right now, but I'll tell her later.
More than 32 years.
It was something like 35.
Yeah, 35 years.
Yeah, about 35 years, but that's a long time to be with the county. So,
yes, it is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
It is a very long time.
So, but he's always been very helpful. Whenever I've ever called him for something, he's always there. So, and he's always responded, and he's always responded with a lot of information that I need. So I thank him so much, and I'm gonna miss you, Tim. I am. After all these years, thank you for all your service.
Hey, Madam Chair, right quick.
Yes.
I got appointed to the Wayne County Planning and Development Commission in 1988 when I was 18 years old. I remember from way back then. Yeah.
So you're just trying to,
Yes.
you're just trying to say that you knew him longer.
Yeah, I know, right? When, I'll say this, when after Chairman Warrenchuk left and I became chair of the commission, Tim asked if it was okay if he stayed on as chief of staff. And he said, I'll just stay for a few months to, get you started, to get you in. His contract came back up and I said, stay. They came back up again. I said, please stay still. So it has been amazing having you as my main guy, chief of staff for these last 6 years, ushering us through the Tri-County Summit, through the community partner grants. Just your help and your guidance has been so important to me over these last years. So you will sorely be missed. But I know it's time for you to go and enjoy the rest of your life and your family and say you've done well. You've done very well here, but you will sorely be missed. And I thank you for all that you've done for me personally and then for this commission as a whole. Thank you, Tim. Vice Chair Palomero.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too want to congratulate Tim on his decades of outstanding public service. I just can't believe that he's going to do a full stop retirement. Knowing Tim that he is. I mean, he'll probably, like your friend did, he'll probably become a personal trainer now in his later years in life. You've made a tough job look easy, Tim. To keep 15 commissioners happy and manage a staff is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So you've done it well, and I thank you on behalf of all of us. And I also want to wish our chair a happy birthday. That is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, the secret's out that I'm 27, so thank you all for those well wishes. Thank you, Vice Chair Palomero. Any additional remarks by members?
Well, I guess I'll say something.
Yes.
Because when he mentioned Dewey Henry, oh, Irma, please. That he had worked for Dewey Henry. That was when I was on the Economic Development Board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
But I had kind of forgotten. So thanks for reminding me. So we go back a long ways too. In my old other county commission days.
That's right. Commission and then back on the commission again. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Tim. You'll be missed. You know, you'll be missed. One more thing before we adjourn. I made mention of this earlier. We are very active. I say we, Wayne County is very active in the National Association of Counties. We have several members who are on different committees with that organization, have led different organizations with NACO. As all of you know, I've been active for years. And because of my active role in the National Association of Counties, I've decided to run for the office of president for that organization. So the election will be in Philadelphia in July. I ask for your prayers as we go through this. You run for second vice president in NACO, and then you ascend up every year. So you run for second vice this year, next year will be first vice, then the third year, you're the president. So there are 3 of us running for the position. I'm one of 3. So I'm hopeful to have your prayers and your support as we move through this, but it's a challenge, and I'm looking forward to it because I think I would be an awesome president. Our last president from Michigan was in 2005, and that was Eric Coleman from Oakland County. So it's time that Michigan had another representative as leading the National Organization of Counties. So wish me luck. And I'll keep you abreast as we move forward with this. And my campaign manager is Melissa Dobb. So she'll be the one keeping me on task. So it's exciting. And I just ask for your support as we move through these next few months of campaigning for that position. There are 3,069 counties in the country. So I'm going to need to touch 2/3 of them to win. And I've already started. It is looking pretty good, but keep me in your prayers as we move forward. Any additional remarks by members? Commissioner Kinlock.
I don't know if anybody noticed this, but Ross Jones is over there.
Hi, Ross. Thank you, thank you, Jonathan. Any additional remarks by members? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?